Hey guys, so after the unboxing of the Line 6 Sonic port for iOS devices, we're going to put the little guy through its paces and try to find out how practical such a setup really is. Now, is there going to be a lag from going into the iPad or the iPhone? Do the effects sound good? Are there enough amps that sound realistic, and can I fine-tune my own sounds? And last but not least, does it feel like playing a real guitar through some real amp and effects hardware, which is kind of the point here? Well, let's play around with it a little bit and find out. Alright, so I'm going to take you through some tones here, showing you also how this whole thing works. I have my guitar. This is a Fender Stratocaster Deluxe running with my guitar from my guitar cable into the Sonic port, and then from the Sonic port I have in this case a mono cable, but might as well be a stereo cable because it allows for that, into my audio interface, which is a this case we're using a Mackie Ultralight Mark III, which works Firewire, meaning Thunderbolt, and USB, and as well it works on iPads and so forth as well. Haven't tested that part though. There's a headphone output which we're not using yet, which we are not using now, because we want to sort of like see how it sounds on bigger speakers. I tried it before with headphones, and it sounds a bit trebly. It sounds a bit too clean, too digital. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to record the sound directly from here into the computer. I'm using GarageBand for that, right? Just making sure we get good picture here, picture quality. I'm backing up a little bit, getting a bit closer. Here we go. Yeah. Alright guys, boys and girls, so what do we have? So here's where we select, well, first of all, let me show you, there's a tuner function here, which is pretty cool. Alright, so I'm a little bit out of tune on the string. Tune it up, and it's very, very sensitive. I really like that. Let's tune it up. Alright, doing that really quickly. I thought I was in tune. I think the whole guitar went flat a little bit. And let me tune the string here as well. So anyways, this can be tuned in. You can even bypass that so there's no sound. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's go back. Here's where your input signal comes in. As you see how strong the input signal is. If I turn my guitar down, I don't hear much. Alright, so make sure the guitar is turned on, and it reaches a pretty good level. And here's my output, and another thing to the output is you can regulate it here, right? You can also regulate it on the iPad Air here, or regular iPad and so forth, iPhone, right here. So make sure so you have the strongest signal going out. I turn that up all the way, and here I try to go as much as possible without clipping at the audio interface, or if you hook it up to an amp. Why is that? So you don't have to, you have a better signal to noise ratio. Your signal is stronger, you don't have to amplify it that much, because if you amplify the signal, you also amplify some noise. Speaking of which, let me switch to a single coil here. Here is a gate. You can turn that off, and you can turn it on, and it eliminates any hum that might be coming from the guitar. So for example, so here's where it starts, and those are all effects now. I described that in my unboxing video. Going into the amp, which is a Brit Class A #1, and you have different amps you can choose from. Let me just show you which ones. There's tons of those. Let's say we use Boutique #3s, then it switches to Boutique #3. Alright, the sound changes right away. And then you have a chorus here, for example. You can also change the gain so it's a little less distorted. Different controls here on this amp. A little bit, it's reduced to treble. And there's a smooth sound here. I have a reverb that I can turn on and off. If you tap on the effect, you'll see it. Right. Add a chorus. If I want to change the delay, the time, for example, as feedback, lower level. Right. Make it a bit faster. So let's now look at the presets here. You change the presets here. So there's a lot of those. You can go by factory presets, you can go by style, and then you can go by band. So it has even some band names like 311, Maroon 5, different songs. It's sort of like, I guess it's trying to emulate that. I'm not going to go into that right now. For me, it's less how accurate it reproduces a specific amp sound. It's got to sound good to me. That's really what it's all about. So, and then you have customtone.com, which is, I guess, downloadable tones. I'm not going to go there either right now. And then you have user tones, the tones that obviously you should, in any of these, electronic gearboxes, you should always create your own that work with your guitar, right? So let's look at the factory tones. There's a Lux Verb chorus. So what is that? It has a black panel, so it's sort of a black face amp. And then you have the gate again, wah-wah pedal. Wah-wah pedal, I have to say, I mean, it kind of works. If you turn that on, but you gotta play it at the same time. So it's more like in a fixed position. An auto filter would be nice. So now let's add an effect. You have a lot of effects here. I'm missing an auto filter. There's a couple of effects that I'm missing, and they might add that in the future. We could add, let's say, a tremolo here, and see what that does for us. I don't know. Sounds pretty cool. So, make sure we bring that up here. So the volume dropped a little bit, so let's bring up the volume. And there's so many different ones. I mean, to the limits. So that works. My playing is not really hindered by it, I gotta say. Let's see, Blizzard, this is definitely more output, so I'm gonna dial this down here. this is very funny how this whole thing here looks like. You have a boost switch. So some of those amps, they really put a lot of, design time into it. I like it. I think it makes it, it gives you a good feeling. Makes you believe it, I guess. Wow, here's a very high output amp here. I'm going to reduce to treble, and it's already glowing here in the back. Really clipped it here. The only thing that the volumes of the presets varies a lot, so that's kind of how it is in reality, really. But just gotta be aware of it when you record digitally. Bring up the gain here. So this one has not enough. It's a bit dull here, but all right. It has so many different ones. Cajun blues, there's a jazz clean. Let's turn it up. There's a Memphis one that seems to be like a country sound. We have a black panel over what type of speaker do we have here? Some cool speaker selections. Tweet Deluxe, let's try that. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit too. There we go, here, turn it up a bit.
Well, I must say I've been quite pleased with the fun factor of the Sonic port. Lots of amps to choose from, enough classic stomp box effects, and a good amount of speakers to choose from as well. All virtual, of course. What is great about it is that I think by playing with the knobs and buttons, settings that are modeled after the originals, we're getting at least an idea how the stuff works in reality and response. So there's some sort of an educational component, if you will. Many of us don't have these real amps and real stomp boxes yet, so it's a good idea. What do these buttons do? How does the music guitar world even work? Everything sounds good enough to dial in cool guitar tones, I think, and I'm sure after having this for a few days, one can get really into it. Unfortunately, there's no bass tones. Why? Well, so the latency, which is the time it takes from the tone being played on the guitar to travel through the iPad and is then being processed in there and then it gets sent back out, it's there, but it's minimal. Sort of like being a bit further away from the amp. You feel it just a bit. Now, where once guitar novices would spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on amps and floor stomp boxes, at $99, this gives you an idea if the whole guitar craze is even worth it or for you. But in all honesty, I could definitely see this on stage with some precautions, one of them being a fully charged iOS device. All this is true and good, though, if you already have an iOS device. If you don't, Line 6 has been making more powerful and versatile devices for less money than you would spend combined for many years. Many come with the big buttons, many cable connections, wah-wah pedals mounted together, and far more amps or effect selections, such as the amazing HD 500X, which gets pretty serious. Look it up. Anyways, I hope this review gives you an idea of what to expect from the Line 6 Sonic port. Until next time, thanks for watching. Massivebeatzz out.